So I'm still doing the first React course in this part of the video. At this point, I was having a lot of issues installing or importing packages. Eventually, I realized that my version of React was too new for some of the things going on in this course. So a lot of times I try to install something, it would say that there's an issue with React. I maybe should have figured it out quicker, but eventually found that there's a different command you can use if your version of React is newer than the package that you're trying to install. I believe it's legacy deps. It's in my blog post. So I start going to the tutorials on YouTube from Traversing Media. I found he explains everything much clearer. Here's an expense tracker that, I think the tutorial is 40 minutes, and by the end you have a working app. You put in your expenses and your income, and it gives you your balance for the month. Really simple app, but it actually worked really good. After that one, it went into like an image search. So it connected with an API off of a stock image gallery, and then basically you just create an application where you can search up images with a tag name. So eventually you'll see me search up the word dog and all the dog pictures come up. First you got to create the cards. So it's got the photo, who the photo's by, the views, downloads, likes, and then the tags at the bottom. So learning the things in this tutorial, you could see how it could be really beneficial for other apps you might do. So I found going along with tutorials at first was really helpful. The more times I do it going along with somebody, I feel like I'm going to be better off in the end when I try to create my own website. I think I had a couple issues with this one, just getting the search bar at the end. And I think I had imported something wrong. Eventually I got it to work, all the colors were right, it started, it's functional. So this here was trying to do a submission form, but the way they're trying to get me to import Material UI, the earlier versions you didn't have to do /core and the app bar still worked. So I was having some issues here. So I decided to go to the most recent tutorial that page had, and it was building this portfolio page, the one I actually ended up using for this blog. Now it was using another site that helps you build your portfolio page called Sanity. So Sanity hosts your page where you can edit your blogs, edit the author, you can post new projects, and then the website that you create on React links directly to that. So anything you update on the Sanity page gets uploaded directly onto your website, and eventually you deploy your website with Netlify. I found this tutorial really good. They use Tailwinds, which is a styling. So basically, once you either install Tailwinds, or in this one, we actually just put the link in the index CSS. So Tailwinds just already has a bunch of CSS classes already done. So you don't need to actually individually name your classes and then have like a class in CSS to style. This you just write in the class name, put your styling right in there, and so you can style each individual component really easily. Now this page used React Router, where basically in your app.js page, you have your navigation bar, and then everything on your navigation bar uses the router, uses the route on each page. So anytime you click a page, it reads the route on the app.js page and then displays the link that you're looking for or the page that you're looking for. So each one of these tutorials, once I'm finished going along with them, then I go back into it and kind of figure out what I've understood. I try to change things, change the styling, just to make sure I do understand everything that they walked me through, understand how it works. I thought this was actually a really good page by the time it was done. It doesn't work great on phones, so I do need to figure out like the media styling. Kind of forgot I was recording, so I put my water jug right in the way of the camera. Yeah, I had a lot of fun designing this web page. I had a little bit of issues trying to deploy it because it didn't have the most up-to-date. There was one package that wasn't up to date, and I believe it was the social icons. So around that time is when I actually figured out the legacy deps extension that you put when you try to install your package. Here's just a small little tutorial on Material UI because I thought I'd be using it for the next website that I do. But then, when I was almost done this one, I ended up finding another tutorial that was a much better looking website. So I wanted to find out kind of what I'm missing. That tutorial actually had it so like the screen would change. It changed a lot better for when you're using it on your phone. So when the screen gets smaller, things like the links at the top end up changing into a drop-down menu. It was a lot nicer of a page. Now this tutorial, he had the CSS mostly done already. Now the one problem I had with this page is he had a video in the background. So when I put my own video on there and I tried to push to GitHub, I had some issues with the file size. So I still haven't actually figured out what I have to do to fix that, but I ended up just changing it to an image. I do plan on working on that website quite a bit more. Probably also turn it into like a blog page. At this point, I actually forgot to turn off my camera, and the page is just like running in the background, so I went to go eat dinner. But so the image the video I tried to put on my background was like 2.1 gigs. So you can't actually push something that big to GitHub. Netlify, the deploy site I used, they do have a package that you can use that bypasses your GitHub. But for this, after I played around with it for a while, I decided just an image is best. So yeah, kind of my next steps is going into trying to do this all on my own, try to build a page on my own without following along with tutorials. I do have lots of tutorials now to refer to because a lot of times you'll come into an issue and then kind of need something to go to remind yourself how you did it. I'm going to practice getting better with using hooks. So hooks are, instead of having to build a class or write a class, you write a function that that can use like features of React, but it's not a class, it's a function, so they work a little bit differently. It's actually a lot less code. And then so I actually went back to doing a different React course on Udemy from Brad Traversy. He's a lot clearer spoken, a lot easier to understand. And we started building a GitHub Finder. So I'm really excited to finish that and see how well it works. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with React. So hopefully I get better and I can show you a lot better demonstrations for my next blog post.